Welcome back, everyone, to another D&D horror story. My name, of course, is DM Rhino, and we're going to read another D&D horror story or tabletop horror story. Remember, if you like this video, hit like, hit subscribe, and ring the bell. Okay, so this one comes from Any Koala 532, and we're a controlling DM. It's titled Controlling DM. My first time I did a game of D&D outside the group of friends. It fell apart before we even had our first session. It was many years ago, and I was pretty young at the time. The DM wanted to go over each of our character sheets, which I figured was fine. He wanted to make sure none of us did anything super crazy, and we were in line with the rules. What what I was thinking? Yeah, fair, yeah. He gets to me. I had been doing this online, which was a part of the reason I was okay with him going over all the characters. Since we weren't in person, he couldn't just look at our character sheets. It was also my first time trying to play D&D online, and we immediately start to have problems. I play D&D online. Sometimes it's very fun, and if there's problems, it's always bad. Yeah. I was unnecessarily edgy back then, but it still wasn't anything too excessive. I just it just enough to make me cringe looking back. Okay, so you're younger. We all try to be edgelords. You acknowledged you were edgy. Okay. I remember the character I wanted to play, a dragonborn oathbreaker paladin. I had a whole cool backstory and I thought up, and it was in line with the campaign too. Okay. Most DMs don't like Oathbreakers because they're very difficult to DM with. I have no problem with that. But I mean, you as a DM, you could have said at the beginning of the campaign, no Oathbreakers. We're going over my character, and he still was mostly fine at this point, but I was starting to act kind of but he, but he was starting to act kind of strange, and I was trying to get me to change my class, which of course I wasn't going to do. This is my character. Yeah, as I said, you as a DM, you can establish what classes people play, or if it's a one shot, you can say, I need someone to be a paladin, I need someone to be a warlock, I need this, and um. He also kept suggesting things for my character and how I should change it, which I didn't think too much at the moment, but looking back was a red flag. Yeah, if your DM wants to be controlling. Then I had this idea, being edgy back then, if I could have some cool bone design on my armor to wear, bones of my enemies strapped onto my armor. So it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. To help fit my character image. I wasn't particularly even attached. It was just a fun idea I had. Yes, the DM flipped out at me and started saying that we were going to have problems if I kept being like this. Said some pretty hurtful things and told me I was being I was absolutely not going to pass if I had to change my character again. I mean, that's not changing your character. That's just aesthetically. I mean, that's not like a change. Again, I was pretty young at the time, and I kind of got scared and told him to off. And I stopped talking to him. I went and read a book for a bit, and after that, get my mind off of everything. And when I got back to my computer, there was a message from him in our Discord groups saying that thanks to someone, I'm disbanding our D&D group, and I will would never DM for us. The whole thing ended up being pretty bad experience for me, and I didn't play D&D again for over a year until my friend started a new campaign. So I think that you're being like, look, you acknowledge that you were pretty edgelord at the time, but if you're if your DM does give you any restrictions, it's always good to stick with them. But flipping out because one player wanted to change something aesthetically about them, like wearing bone armor, that's um that's fine. And pressuring a player to change their class because you don't like Oathbreaker, I mean, again, that's on you. Um, it's not like people will argue, oh, it's a villain class. It's this. It no, you can still be Oathbreaking and still be lawful. You could have just been you would have to have a conversation with your DM about it, right? Um, it's not a thing, but trying to change a player's class is always a red flag. It seems like this DM wanted a specific group in mind and wanted a very specific type of classes in his campaign so he could manage the classes better. Probably a young DM. Um, and again, if you're a young DM and you don't know where to start out, just roll and say, hey, there are class restrictions and there are race restrictions because I want to learn the game and I'd rather do this. And players are gonna be, yeah, okay, cool, no, right? And it's also fun for players to play different classes because you get players that always play warlocks or paladins or things, and forcing them in a different role is kind of it's fun for a while if that's with your story. But again, it's never if you're starting a campaign, never force a player to change his class. If he understands the class or if he's trying to get into the class, help them understand the class. Help them go forth into the class, right? And give them rules. Say, hey, Oathbreaker is kind of you understand that you've broken your oath, that what was the god that you were serving under, what was your oath, because I want to understand why you broke it. Give me the backstory, which he said he did. So yeah, I'm sorry that this DM decided to end the campaign because of you. It sounds like this DM really was going through a lot and he was just being irritated with players. I don't think it was just you. I think he was probably doing this to a lot of other players. So any koala, I'm sorry about that. But once again, my name is DM Rhino. If you like this video, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. And I read these because they're fun. We all learn from mistakes, and some of them are better than others, and some of them are scarier, and we have to learn from it. So yeah, until next time, have a wonderful day, everyone. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.